Welcome back. This week's Fed decision showed that members are nearly split on where rates should go from here. Today, Minneapolis Fed President Neel Kashkari revealed that at that meeting, he advocated for a half-a-point rate cut. How likely is that? Joining me now is Larry Lindsey, President and CEO of the Lindsey Group, a former Fed governor and former National Economic Director. Larry, welcome. Good to see you back.
Thanks for having me, Kelly.
So what stands out to you about this whole discussion? Gives me a headache, frankly, because you have, on the one hand, everybody talking about low inflation as the reason for rate cuts, but on the other hand, they quite clearly mean we're going to cut if there's a slowdown and we won't if there's not. So where does that leave us?
Well, just look at Fed history. Rates are cut because of problems in the real economy, higher unemployment. Rates are increased because of higher inflation. If you start confusing that, then you begin to run into trouble, because what you end up doing is kind of looking kind of far into your crystal ball. The Fed did that in December. They said, oh my gosh, inflation is coming because we have too many people working. We have to raise. Well, we now know that was a mistake. And I think if they cut now, and if they don't have the data to justify it, they'll be making another mistake.
You do. So you don't think rate cuts are justified, despite the fact that inflation is very low and inflation expectations are near historic lows?
Well, let's talk about inflation, low inflation. I bet if you conducted a poll and you asked people, do you think inflation should be faster? 99 to 1, they would say no. The only people who really want faster inflation are central bankers, because when you have a little bit of inflation, you have a little more wiggle room. So let's be honest. This would only be
Larry, if you ask people, do you want higher wages, 99 out of 100 would also say yes. I think people forget that it's not just the price side of things we're talking about, it's wages too, right? And that's why the Fed, they're concerned. They said they don't want to be Japan or Europe, where all of a sudden it looks like wages are going nowhere and the population is hurt by that in the long run.
But wages are going up and employment is going up. So my indicator, what I would look at, is look on July 5th when the employment report comes out, see how much the number of workers goes up, and see how much wages go up. And I think if you add those two together and get a number over 0.3, that there's no reason at all to cut. If you give households income, they're going to spend it. And in the last 12 months, household wages, or personal income, have gone up 4.4%. Well, what the Fed thinks inflation is going to be 1.5. That means you've got 2.9% real growth in consumption. By the Fed's own arithmetic, 2.9% real consumption growth does not by any means justify a recession. Right? It's actually pretty solid.
So you don't think they should cut rates?
That's the number I'm looking at.
And you don't think the economy is slowing?